You have to infiltrate the meme community. I love how they call it. I love how they call it foreign memes. This is the part that kills me. Domestic memes.
Domestic and foreign memes, yes.
I don't know. There's something about the fact that it's now an illegal document that just kills me. I need to delete this fucking tweet where it's talk about college capers because that didn't happen.
That's how apparently we got elected. That's how we got Trump elected.
I love the Pikachu one. Why people draw a boner on him? Why? It's so dumb. Oh. I think that's the whole point of memes. Memes have, and these shitposts are effectively the equivalent of trying to scare someone, but with ludicrousy. It's like, what if instead of Cthulhu making you go insane, he made you just have a laughing fit? Could you imagine? If you're looking for too long, you'll have the memes. But yes. Let me pull up my notes file so I know what to look at. Boom. Ah, there we go. So I'm gonna drop a name, which is important for this adventure, and that is the ex-owner of the house, Sir Jacob Rottingham. He owned a lovely mansion north of the town of Abilene in Texas. His house is around a 20-minute drive north of the place. It's an actual town. I actually decided to just the tiniest bit of research on it. There's a little bit more, you know. Unlike you know, Call of Cthulhu itself, which is all like, oh, it takes place in this place that doesn't exist. I'm professional. Abilene's kind of a neat town. I actually looked it up. They are built an industry built around. It's just so nice. You look at a town, you're like, oh man, it's like this place actually exists and isn't just a Wikipedia article. Anyway, the man recently passed away. He was found with gunshot wounds, and the standing theory is that a bunch of no gooders decided to come up on his ranch and steal some of his stuff because he was a he was a renowned professor, scholar, enjoyer of cultures, so to speak.
Heck.
The kind of fellow who has expensive things. So naturally, the notary's like, I gotta take care of some paperwork. So he invites someone over to just look at the house for a little bit. Someone he can trust, somebody knows, you know, would be immediately suspect and has some reputation to lose in the process. But it turns out that people with Abilene itself we're kind of like, yeah, we're gonna stay on this side of his property lines if that's okay with you. So suffice to say, you were not the first on the list. You were kind of the first to accept. And he became desperate enough that he was like, "Hey, I'll pay you $100 out of like his existing financial estate if you just look after the building while I take care of a couple of things."
Why would he be concerned about somebody looking after the place?
Because it is located quite far away from the town itself, and it's quite easy for someone to just walk into the building and take all the shit inside. And the fact that the guy was shot in the first place, yeah, the situation's a bit, yeah.
Was he shot in the house?
He was shot outside the house. According to what you heard, he was found dead outside of his property by his landscaper, who was like, "Oh, that's gonna be a mess to clean out of the grass."
Heck.
Yep.
Well, good thing it's the time period where a landscaper can find actual work after that kind of career turn.
Yeah. So, what was he a professor of?
Anthropology, foreign cultures. Suffice to say, he wasn't. He would be considered by most modern standards a little bit racist with how he researched African cultures.
Well, I mean, for the
Mm,
time period, it's appropriate. We're all a little bit racist. It's like we don't like Negroes in this establishment,
Is this
obviously.
even? Is this even? I think the 1920s is before like
1920s,
equal
that's
rights and all
before.
that stuff. So yeah, things were
Yes,
rough.
it's if it's not USSR, then no equal rights.
But if you're in the USSR, it's like everyone gets to do backbreaking work. That's a guarantee.
Well, yeah, but the interesting thing about USSR is that once the revolution happened, they just gave equal rights to literally everybody. Women, all the minorities. It's like they had a hard on for, international communities and whatever. Plus, the country has like 200 peoples living in it, like distinct, different peoples.
Better not divide yourself early on.
Hmm. Everybody gets sent to the gulag equally.
And you get sent to the gulag.
fun times.
Who doesn't like fun bucks? But yes,
Okay.
a renowned professor, loved by the local community, known for his a bit quiet, bit reserved, but always good for a couple of dollars to the local charities and such.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of figure where everyone was like, "Oh man, I can't believe he's gone." That's gonna change everything.
Yes.
But not only were you offered $100 to stick around for a bit on his very nice estate, which he promised would take less than a week to take care of all the necessary business upon arrival, he even paid for your plane tickets, which is quite considerable considering the times. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
you get to travel in a nice plane.
Uh, yeah.
it was before
Professor.
they invented the round windows for the planes.
This might even be before they invented, proper thermal insulation for planes. So, I mean, I say that in jest, but I think very early commercial planes were actually freezing cold inside.
Let's see. Commercial aviation 1920 to 1930. Here you go.
I'd say Professor Horn will be more just doing this as a favor or something. Like the money isn't that big of a deal to him.
I imagine so. Like you're allowed to make your own
Like
personal motivations.
yeah, I could pay my own airfare as well, but yeah, I'll take the plane ticket.
At least it's not intercontinental flights. Back in the day, that was like a record setter.
Mm.
So you'd have to use the the ship.
Yeah.
But yes, you arrive at the Abilene airport, which is not too big. It's your usual small airport. There's just a strip of tarmac on which a plane can land, which is what qualifies as an airfield back then. There's a small little tower with the usual radio station. No radar, no fancy stuff. Ooh, somehow Como rolled a 3.333 damage. What?
That was my shotgun.
So, what the heck? Why does it divide afterwards? Ugh.
Oh, that's the buckshot does different damage
Per distance. It's
Yeah.
not a formula. It just reads it as a formula.
Yeah.
It's accidentally treating it as a formula, I see.
Yeah.
How dumb. But yes, you arrive at the local airport, the Abilene, where, as one would imagine, there is someone waiting for you with a nice sign.
Also, the smaller the number on the gauge, the larger the bullet actually is.
What does the
The
gauge
shell.
stand for then?
The gauge is the number there is the amount of things that you can make out of the load.
Huh.
Let me give you a proper scientific definition of this. Oh wait, I was wrong. Apparently, 1 second. The gauge of a firearm is a unit of measurement used to express the inner diameter, bore diameter of the barrel. Gauge is determined from the weight of the solid sphere. Blah blah blah.
Exciting
Gauge
stuff.
is determined. is determined from the weight of a solid sphere of lead that will fit the bore of the firearm and is expressed as a multiplicative inverse of the sphere's weight as a fraction of a pound. 1 12-pound lead ball fits a 12-gauge ball. Huh.
Awesome.
All right. Do we know anything about the surroundings of the mansion?
So, Abilene is a pretty dry area, so ranching and having like a herd of a significant portion is it. It is the mansion itself is actually located directly adjacent to Lake Fort Phantom Hill, which is a mouthful. Which is why most people just call it Lake Phantom.
Lake Phantom. I'm gonna be writing this stuff down because I'll be forgetting things a million times.
The actual building itself is located 20 minutes of driving from this town center, though from the airport it's a little bit longer. The local area is it's mostly flat grassland. It's just flat grassland, but the actual property itself has a distinct feature in that, for some odd reason, he insisted on having a small artificial forest around his house. Calling it a forest is a bit giving it credit. It's just like there's enough trees that you have a consistent, solid shade around the place,
So it's like
and
a
it breaks the
park.
wind. It helps break the wind on those windy days.
So it's like a little park. Okay.
It's like a little park, yes. They're taller than average trees. There are like some parked areas, but they don't have like these are like big trees, like building tall trees, not just like
Okay. Are they local or are they like imported?
No, they're mostly like imported trees and such. Someone just started
Okay.
following me. Let me just check out what this could be. I don't know. It doesn't tell me. It just loves not telling me. But yes, they're mostly like oak trees and such, like the usual stuff. There's some birch. It's not the kind of tree you want to be planting out here in this super dry area. So you can imagine the guy pumps out of the lake every once in a while to keep his sitch going.
Oh.
There has to be a refresh button here, right? Whatever. Anyway, the person that comes to pick you up introduces himself. He is the groundkeeper called Peter Highland. He is a relatively sturdy fellow, quite tall, a dark-skinned individual, though he looks quite well off, as he wears quite nice clothes. For a groundskeeper,
What's his name
especially.
again?
But you do see like the mud on his boots, so he's unmistakably the guy who trudges through it.
Okay. What's his name again?
Peter Highland.
Peter. Done.
So,
I was half expecting groundskeeper Wheelie.
no. He introduces himself quite briefly, and asks for your names and all.
Robert Horn, professor
yes.
of archaeology.
Oh yes, yes.
Do you have some kind of transport? I have.
He points to a small area like behind the fence, and you can see a very nice car there. Mr. Johannes will be coming with us as well. Johannes, you know, is the notary who is taking care of dissolving the estate into the proper hands.
Again?
Johannes Kingsley, in specific.
Wait. I put everything in real life and in character into a tiny little book.
Peter gives this finds this a little bit strange, but because all he knows you're just taking care of some property. He takes you over. There's not much in terms of like security because we're in the 1920s. No one gives a shit.
Yes. Nobody gives a shit.
I have a steamer trunk full of weapons.
They check your baggage like real briefly just to make sure you're not like carrying, I don't know, a bomb or like mustard gas. They'll just ask questions about why are you carrying this closed tank? But yes, they don't ask many questions. They're just like, okay, have a good day. You're a white person. Enjoy your life.
Yep.
Welcome to the 20s.
It's just my body spray, mustard gas.
Yeah,
It helps mutate the armpits.
Yes.
It keeps them
Peel the
swamp
skin
fresh.
right off. Swamp fresh.
Anyway, as you walk towards the car, you see a fine, athletic man who has quite a formidable beard. He's unmistakably Johannes as he begins to speak, and you recognize his voice, even though on the phone people sound a bit differently.
Yes.
There you are. Johannes Kinsley, and he holds out his hand for you to shake.
Hello. Pleased
Shake
to
it.
meet you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I've diverged most of the details as to why you are here, but how about we just take you up to the estate and you can get right settled in? It's been quite a pickle finding, the proper assets, the proper paperwork, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Can you roll for me
So-
psychology?
Ooh. Let's see if I can. Oh, which one of the two buttons do I use?
You just roll 100.
I don't know. They both do something.
There's the gray and the green button.
I'm gonna see if Roll20 has like an explanation as to what the buttons mean. If I just check the sheet information. That's a 34 in Como's end.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you always roll like 1d 100.
Well, Como failed because he only has 10.
Yes.
Okay, let's see what the green button does.
Oh, someone got a hard.
All right then.
So, you can't help but notice that despite it being quite warm because you are like in Texas, this guy is wiping his brow a few more times than perhaps would be expected of the individual.
Something bothering you, Mr. Kingsley?
No, of course not. Let's step on it, Peter. He just reaches over behind himself. It's a very nice car. It is an open car. There's a windshield in the front, and the back, there's 3 rows of seat, but the back 2 are like oriented towards each other, sort of like a stagecoach. It's a very unusual design for a car. Now that you think about it.
This is an interesting car.
Yes, owned by Jacob himself, from what I've heard. The car he tended to use for outside activities.
All right. Did he often have people over? This is
He was quite a reserved man, from what I've heard. Doesn't really go out and about as much as the average person would. Which is surprising considering how much land he owed and how much good he did for the local community. Makes it all the more surprising I couldn't find someone local to just watch the place a couple of days.
Interesting. Yeah, eccentric man.
Very much eccentric. I do recommend you don't touch too many of his things. They could be quite delicate. After all, he was a collector of sorts.
Yes, I can understand the sentiment.
As you drive along through Abilene, you notice that the buildings around are very flat. It's that American expansionist architecture of like, we can just build sideways instead of upwards. You drive along past the zoological park, the Christian University. All the way north, you're starting to pierce out of town by now after you've crossed the local Route 20 highway.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be much longer. We'll be reaching up near Elm Creek, and that'll take us close enough to Fort Phantom, the lake. I mean, the weather is nice. It's pretty clear here. He tells you about all the average stuff. Like, it's very clear here. Not much to see, and slowly but surely you reach the northern edge of the lake, and there you see a small park off to your right, which is a public area because there's no fence around it, and to the north is a fenced-off section, which, to put it bluntly, it's like a very nice fence, a very nice chain-link fence, the stuff you wouldn't just climb on a dime. Like, you'd have some second thoughts about just going for it. And eventually the chain-link fence reaches up to a regular gate, which it looks very weird because it's like the chain-link fence, and then bloop, this nice brick stone gate. And you can see in the distance a small collection of trees where the house most likely is. As you can see, like a small building in between the trunks and foliage. And here we are. The Rottingham Estate.
Fancy place.
Yes. He wanted to get, proper walls from what I've heard, but with the military base nearby, apparently it was cheaper to get chain link. Can you imagine a man living in such a place? I couldn't.
It is a bit remote.
It's a short walk from the town, which really isn't. Like, you've been in the car for at least, 50 minutes, driving at a reasonable pace.
Yes.
It's not exactly a short walk, but for the times it's probably appropriate. It's like when we were kids, we went to school for like 30 miles uphill both ways, and we liked it.
Both ways.
Both ways.
The hills shift during the day. But as you stand at the gate, the car stops. Peter opens it up, drives you inside, and you are now next to the estate. There's a few other cars here. They're all very nice models. Along the way, as you drive up to the estate, you can see off to your left in the distance a small, sort of police cones. But it's clear that no one's actually done much with it over the last few days because there's no one standing there or anything. And here we are. I need a spot hidden for both of you.
Okay.
What? Hidden either? Ooh, extreme.
I've rolled a 98 and I'm at 50. Whoops. I just overshot that.
Oh
completely.
man, Belmore actually spots something real good. For a professor, he has good eyes.
Well, I am
He
a
has
hunter.
glasses. He's cheating.
Okay, let me just do a little something. I should probably just put this away for a second. There we go. Okay, so in the distance, like a bit away behind one of the tree trunks, you're quite certain you saw someone, and more importantly, you saw a strange shimmering gleam, not unlike that of a crystal.
I say, I thought I saw somebody. Was there somebody within the grounds of the estate?
No, of course not. Ever since the police came by and Mr. Rottingham was taken away, Peter's the only person left behind. To, keep the place presentable, but for the most part, there wasn't a need for maids and such.
I'm pretty certain I saw somebody over there.
Well, that is why you're here, to make sure that people don't show up around here. Just scare them off with a few good shouts and they'll generally run away. They're not expecting any resistance, so...
Right. And if there's any resistance, I have my trusty shotgun.
You do have that right, yes. The right, Belms, is quite one, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Usually a little nudge.
Yes. Actually, how is the hunting around here?
Well, I'm afraid there's not much to hunt. A lot of the area is ranch land and, well, whatever they can grow in this parched weather.
That is a shame. Damn shame.
Yes, well, 'tis life. Can't hunt everywhere.
Yes.
Now, let me show you inside. Peter, go take care of the car on the gate. Forgot to close it. He leads you inside. Into the building.
I follow along.
The entryway is very well lit. Like the whole place, from the outside, as you could clearly see, is big windows, no curtains. It's all very nice and opulent. It's also remarkably made of stone, which is quite expensive considering that there's not a lot of quarries around here. Like, this is the kind of place where people build with, like, wood.
Itself is built of stone. Oh.
The bottom floor is, at least. The top floor is clearly made of wooden construction, but if there was a fire, a larger portion would survive than of most American buildings.
What exactly the United States is this, by the way?
You're in Texas.
Texas?
Yes.
Does Texas have hurricanes? 1 second.
Well, you are west of Dallas by quite a distance.
Hurricanes will strike Texas coast once every 9 to 16 years, while tropical storms are more common than that. So, yeah, it does get hit. So it makes sense for a more or less permanent structure to be built out of stone.
Can I tell how old this building is?
Judging, well, let's see if any particular skill might help you with knowing a little more. Well, you know what? Give me archaeology. You're very good at that, and you've seen buildings of all shapes and sizes over the years.
Yeah.
Let me roll just for shits and giggles because I have a 1% in this. Maybe I will roll a 1.
A 1 quite literally means you can only succeed on a critical, which is the funny part.
Nope.
So Belmore, because of your
Mm.
extensive knowledge of buildings in general,
Yes.
you can quite easily tell that this structure is quite new. It is likely that
Huh.
you've seen Sir Jacob move around a lot. This building has clearly been built in the last decade or so.
Oh,
Like
wow.
the wood looks pretty nice and not replaced. Like everything's consistent. It is the biggest clue.
Well, he had some interesting taste, this man.
Yes. You could quite tell that he had his own way of doing things.
So he had this whole thing built for just himself, then.
Well, there are other ranch lands around it.
Mm.
Every rancher needs his ranch house, I guess.
Yes, so it is quite the mansion to build, though.
So the main entryway has 2 staircases which go up onto the sides, and a doorway leading into the hallway itself.
All right. So what does it look on the inside then?
Do we have like a map of the area or something that we can request? Because obviously we're not going to be poking around in every freaking room,
Well,
or at least we wouldn't be expected, or it would be like impolite.
Well, I don't know. We're supposed to be looking after the house.
Well, I mean, if there's some secret compartments or something, we should probably know about that.
he takes you down the hall. Again, a very nice hallway. Straightforward stuff. And he points off to the left. Off to the left is the dining area. With it's quite large and opulent, intended for festivities and parties. There is an off balcony. He just lets you peek inside real fast because this is not the most interesting part of it. Down that hall are the servants' quarters. Again, nothing you should be concerned with. Through here is the study. Let me just write that all down. Let me actually change my freaking color to black because I'm so frustrated by this that it keeps changing it back to mint. I hate that. I hate that so much. Actually, let me pick a larger text size. There you go, 26. Study. Dining.
Study.
Indeed.
Very specific kind of study. Ooh.
I don't know why he was so invested in living upstairs. Might have been one of those journeys to Africa with all the insects. Ugh. Shivers a bit.
Ugh.
It's easy.
Yeah, considering there are all those parasite flies and whatever.
Yes.
Shows you upstairs. He shows you to the bathroom. There is a guest room off here. There is a master bedroom over here.
Mm-hmm.
There's an archive room where he keeps all kinds of knickknacks. You see all kinds of weird things here. Some of which don't really feel like they're just cultural artifacts from someone who does anthropology and stuff.
Specify. Was it like dried heads or something?
Yeah, like the stranger things you could find.
Interesting.
Huh.
I'll make a mental note to take a closer look at these after that.
What the hell is that, Kobo? Ah! By using the /sad command? What the hell are these memes? Knees buckle under the weight of suitcases. Oh. But yes. And off to the side is another guest room, which has also been repurposed as a... Did that? Okay. As a sitting area. So it has a lot of seats, but it also has like a bed you can deploy if necessary. It's more like,
Seats. Was he having a lot of guests?
Well, not really. Again, he was a reserved person. People knew him and they liked him, and sometimes, rarely, would he like invite some people over for talking about stuff. But for the most part, he seemed reserved to himself.
That's fair enough. Did he have a lot of enemies?
From what Johannes is able to tell you, no. He doesn't know if he had any particular enemies. He does know, however, that he had some strife with the local church because of all the heathen artifacts he's storing.
Yes.
Oh, that.
Belmore has some experience with that, I assume. I mean, Robert.
Yeah. They're both in a similar line of work.
Oh, yes, the silly superstitions. I know that well.
Oh my goodness, stop that. Don't. Jesus.
Ooh.
Why is this being so difficult about things? It's probably because, okay, that might fix some things. Okay. And the other rooms are mostly storage or empty, and weren't used for anything as specific. It also tells you where the kitchen is, because you probably want to know where the kitchen is. As well as the larder, which is just off to the side. And with that, he's shown you around the place. He's shown you some of the ground in the back. There's a nice garden back. It's clear that Peter does a pretty good job keeping this place in serviceable order.
There's probably a lot of dust.
There is a surprising amount of dust because you are in an area of Texas where it's pretty sandy. So whenever the wind picks up, you're going to get blasted.
Heck. I meant more in the house dust, but yes.
No. Peter's been keeping it at least somewhat dust-free. But he's clearly not the maid of the area of the building.
So is Peter the only servant living here then?
The other ones all left. Peter mostly stuck around because he didn't really have anywhere else to necessarily go, which is a polite way of saying his race might be in the way of things.
Yes.
He's trying to find someone else to find employment with because Texas is not the kind of place you just want to be walking around without someone to fall back on in that regard. Peter will also not be staying around. He is not staying on the grounds itself. He does have a small house somewhere else.
All right.
Why else do you think they need someone to watch it?
So, how long do you think we are going to have to stay here then?
At most 7 days.
All right. Is the larder stocked?
The larder is completely stocked. You'll be fine. Gives you a few pats in the back.
That's good. Especially since the hunting in the area is poor.
Feel free to amuse yourself with this study and grounds, and you're not required to stay here all the time, but do be here to keep the lights on for just long enough that people get the clue.
Yeah.
If we'll leave, we'll keep the radio on. That's what my family always does. It's like they leave the apartment, there's nobody in the apartment, just turn the radio on.
It does increase
because
the
they think that a person that is scrumptious, who likes to save money, will not keep the radio running because of electricity.
Scrumptious. Whenever I hear scrumptious, I think of food, glorious food. Scrumptious sounds like something is tasty.
Oh wait, that's the wrong word I used.
Yes.
Yes.
Damn it.
Also describes the rather delicious smell that is wafting into my room from somewhere. Kind of distracting. Ah, man.
But with that, you are left in the building itself, with really no one to blame but yourself for being here.
Oh, it's a nice house. So
it's very spacious.
Yes, it's slightly larger than my own house. Again, wealthy. So yeah.
Deep pockets. I mean, you have 65 credit rating, which is pretty up there.
Yup.
I wonder how we actually met then, in the first place. It's like we have a common hobby, but how did we meet in the first place? That'd be interesting to explore later on. Because we're kind of circulating in different like social circles, I suppose.
But
Yeah, I guess we could have bumped into each other while hunting and just kind of bonded over a dead deer or something. Yeah.
who knows? The house feels eerily quiet as you stay within it.
Hmm.
You hear a
What's
car.
the weather outside, by the way? What kind of like season it is?
Well, despite it being December, I need to
Almost
look. I
Christmas
think I'm
then.
pretty sure that even though it's like December, it's like the colder months of the year. It's still pretty like sunny.
Hmm.
Like even
Well,
even in,
it is
even in
Texas.
December,
Texas
there's only like 5 days in the whole month that it rains a little bit.
Texas is pretty freaking close to the equator, so it's probably a land without snow for the most part.
The average temperatures range between 13 and 0, so it's palatable compared to the northern states.
Yeah. But the mansion probably doesn't have like anything of the like central heating or something.
It doesn't have like necessarily central heating. There are like some small heaters left and right in the building. Particularly in the bedrooms you have one, and in the dining area is one that can easily be pushed over to the study if need be.
Hmm.
But it's like a heater with a small tube that just aims out through the window.
Well, we can probably just
Oh, there's a fireplace too, of course. There's always
Yeah.
fireplaces.
use that.
All right. Since we're left pretty much alone here, I'm going to just wander around, taking some closer stock of the place. Poke at any interesting stuff I might find.
Is there any room in specific you're going to look through?
I'm probably going to wander up into the archive room.
You wander into the archive room, where there are many strange items.
Hmm.
You also can't help but notice a very, very interesting item on the desk, which is a diary of sorts. It seems to record some things about. Well, suffice to say, there's like a pencil next to it. Like this is not pen writing. This is done by pencil, and it's like a record of his journeys or something. And around you are artifacts of all sorts and natures, from amulets to shoddy-looking books to just bags of stuff.
Well,
Well,
I'll
Considering I'm afraid of breaking anything, I'll probably take a look at that and share with my pal.
all
What's
right.
in the book?
While you look at the book, I'll take a closer look at the artifacts in the room, as I'm trained to handle fragile materials.
Okay, I'm going to need a library use roll.
Heck yes. That's the one thing I'm relatively good at. Except not this time.
You can't always win.
No.
Let me.
He's probably documenting his stuff in a way that I don't understand.
Well, it's more that there's a lot in it, and not all of it is necessarily important. Give me a luck roll, just a quick one.
A luck roll. How exactly does luck?
You just roll against your luck, and if you roll lower, you get lucky.
Okay. That's 52.
No, that's
And my luck.
is 67. But yes, you whisk your
Heckies.
way through the pages. You read about all this
65.
exciting.
65.
Yes.
You just said 67. It's like,
Sorry,
what?
I'm dumb.
We
You whisk your
all
way
are.
through the
Don't worry
pages
about it.
of the book. The journal is clearly not just a record. It's like he's been editing things for like posterity's sake. You can tell that the original writing is very clearly just him documenting it, and the rest, the new editions are like him giving a little bit more fluff, so that if he ever decides to publish this, it'll make him look a lot better. Because there's like records where he clearly did something wrong. It's like let's just write that away. An interesting one that catches your eye is that he has an extended conversation about a an African medicine man who purportedly could summon angels to his aid.
Oh.
He seems quite fascinated by this part,
Huh.
considering how much writing there is about it.
Are you?
Did he find any like scientific explanation for this, or was it like literally mumbo jumbo?
He was given the basic necessities, according to the writing at least. You think that he got like the basics of how to do the spell, but the book itself has it all crossed out and erased because he clearly doesn't want to put that in the official release, that he learned this mumbo jumbo and actually wrote it down.
Well, that's fair enough, but did he actually try to do it?
It doesn't mention it. As for the artifacts, I'm going to roll a 1d8 and see which artifact catches your eye. Which one is the d8 again? That one.
What again? 1d8?
Yeah, I rolled a 1d8 to see what trinket Robert is drawn to. Robert, you see a very strange flower. It doesn't look normal. It looks kind of plasticky compared to the average flower, but it might just be dry. It is contained within a small jar. Like it's clearly been cut at the bottom, and it's underneath a small glass dome of sorts.
Maybe it's preserved in some way.
Is it like a piece of pie in a diner?
Is there anything written on the dome or around it?
Nope. There is a space for a plaque, but no plaque has been attached.
None was attached, or it was removed.
None was attached. There's like 2 screw holes, but no sign of like a long-term exposure with something covering it. So.
Disappointing. Can I tell anything about the plant by just examining it?
Can you? What would that be?
Does it even look like a plant, actually? With closest scrutiny?
It looks a bit like a rose, but with a more golden hue to it.
Strange looking. Can't really tell if it's a plant or something made.
Well, roll me your... I'll like you roll survival forced for this, instead of natural world.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
That's a fail, and that's a fail on my end as well.
That was only for him, but yes. You have no clue what this is. You your best guess is that it's probably a crossbred, like, rose?
Yeah, yes, I must say botany isn't really my field of expertise.
Indeed.
Oh. Strange. Wonder where he got that from.
And what are you doing now, Como, since you've leafed your way through the book?
Looking around, poking around the stuff. Because despite the fact that I don't want to break anything, I cannot help my curiosity.
Okay. You poke around a bit. You see the flower in its strange glow. And you start to notice that this place has like a lot of like things with storage capacity. And
like containers?
Your particular keen detective vision spots that there's like dust trails. Like there were things there, and then someone removed them. Like for an archive room, things have gone in and out a lot.
Well, obviously, if it's trails in the dust, it seems rather recent.
No, it's like lighter dust and then thicker dust. So, although there are certain like cabinets where there is indeed, it's been recent.
Do they follow anywhere suspicious, like into a wall?
No, they're just dust trails in and out of the cabinet.
Are any particular items that could be brought like this?
All the shapes are pretty standard. They're like squares and rectangles and circles. So.
Can I investigate the contents of it, or is it like empty?
No. Where the dust trails are, like you notice that the items themselves are gone. Like that's the thing that you notice is for a place that has been referred to as an archive room and has been labeled as such by the outside. It's unusual that someone removed a lot of things.
That is weird. Is it possible to follow any of the trails to?
The dust trails are exclusively on the shelves themselves.
Oh, heck. Well, okay, fair enough.
Okay. I'll look around some more and pick up another interesting object to stare at. So,
That is really weird, though. Well, if this. Well, did he only have like one servant?
He had a few. It is implied that he at least had like someone to take care of the house, like a maid and a cook, and probably a butler,
Where
considering the
they
guesting area.
were, I assume, like
mm,
laid off now that he's dead.
Yep, they'll
Hmm.
find work elsewhere.
yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. It would be interesting to actually interrogate them, but no, not our problem. We're getting paid to actually babysit the house.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway,
Notes.
Belmar,
Yes.
your robot picks up, finds a watch that for some reason is ticking backwards. It's very strange.
Huh. Okay. All right. What does the watch look like? Is it
It
like
is a
a
small brass pocket watch, and has a little chain attached to it.
Hmm. Is there anything markings on it? Maker's mark? Who made it? When it was made?
Nope.
Hmm. Well, this is just weird. Why would this be here? Like a malfunctioning watch?
Well, for a malfunctioning watch, it's ticking perfectly.
Or purposely, or a watch that has been purposely built wrong? Yeah. Strange. This.
Is there anything I can recognize?
Why would this be here?
Not really.
Hmm.
Can I take a look at the book?
You take a look at the book.
So
Roll me a library use and a spot hidden.
okay,
Yuck.
library use fail. Spot hidden also fail.
You don't notice anything outside of it, although you do
Can I
find
help him?
you do find it kind of funny that there's like the final few pages have like several attempts of something writing down and then just kind of scratched and erased back out again.
Weird. What's the last entry in the book?
The last entry primarily mentions that he is home again, that he's been categorizing the boring stuff.
Boring stuff, so he was surprised. There was nothing to indicate that he would be like in danger.
No, it's just like I'm home again. I'm taking care of all my things. I'm examining all the goods and wares and putting to use the exotic things I've learned.
Huh.
Yep, he didn't expect to be shot.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, terribly surprising.
Was he known to take like long walks in the park?
Well, his servants, like you do know that he's the kind of person who would probably go for a walk every once in a while. And considering the excessive amount of land he has, he could easily do so.
Where was he found dead?
A little while I mentioned that halfway through, between the house and the gate, there is like a small section where there's like some police state around a small area.
All right, so he was murdered outside the house.
Yes.
Well,
Right.
that's what we heard. It's just that he was murdered outside the house, but on his grounds.
Yes.
Okay. Is it possible for me to head out and investigate the place where he was killed, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Robert,
well-
I'm gonna go out for like half an hour, maybe.
All right. I'll try and page just page through the book, trying to find if there's anything mentioned about the watch. That's
Okay,
just
holler if you see anything or need anything.
yep, will do. Will do.
Okay. Do we know where the groundskeeper is? By
The
the way?
groundskeeper left, which is
Like-
why they needed you to watch the place.
Oh, so he just like closed day at the work. Okay, fair enough. What time of the day it is right now?
It's like a late afternoon. The sun's still up pretty
Afternoon.
far.
Okay, that's fair enough. I'm gonna head out to where the guy was killed.
You walk over to the place where the police line is,
Mhm.
and you notice that for usually when someone just gets shot, like yes, you expect there to be blood, and the blood sticks around for a bit because there's not a lot of rainy days around here. So even though it took you a while to get here, there's like nothing. But the thing that immediately stands out is it almost looks as if the grass died around where the blood flowed. There's a clear indentation of his body upon the grass.
Was there anything weird about the body specifically?
Not that you know of. You've not seen the body.
Hmm.
Like the body has since been
Well-
removed.
Okay, that's fair enough. Considering I'm a private investigator, would it be possible for me to actually, get some information on that, like say photograph or whatever?
If you can find someone who would have a body or photograph, yes.
Oh, I see. Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, that
Why
one.
would the grass die where the blood was? I would imagine it's a decent fertilizer, actually.
I mean, sure. Kobo, I need an
Yes?
intelligence roll from you.
Ooh, that's gonna be hard. 1 second. There we go. That's 34. That is actually within my parameters.
Is it half or anything else?
No, half would be 27 and it's 34. So it's just regular roll.
You've seen a few crime scenes in your days, so
Mhm.
you're very familiar with what you see. Is that it's incredibly likely that he didn't like get shot and fall over. He probably crawled a small distance.
Uh-huh.
He crawled over his own so he crawled away directly from his pursuer because you don't see any place where either there wasn't an exit wound or he crawled over his own blood splatter.
Uh-huh. Which would be the direction that he was shot from?
He was
potentially?
crawling towards the gate
So somebody in the house,
or from the direction of the house.
of the house. Are there any items on the ground in the vicinity that I can spot?
Odds are anything that was here has been taken by the police, but you can roll
By
a
the
spot
police.
hidden.
A spot. Okay.
Just notice there's a lot of trampled grass because police officers walking around taking notes.
I don't see anything.
Nope.
Sorry.
You can't seem to
Excuse
find
me.
anything around that would indicate that there was anything here, other than the body, and a bunch of cops stepping all over the place.
Ugh.
Hmm.
What would they send 20 men to do the work of one man?
So, Robert, in the meantime, is spending his sweet time trying to figure out that book. And he finds something that's quite interesting, which is that there is a mention. It's in faded text, it's been erased, but he wrote this down quite concisely. Is the mention of a secondary book, in which he writes down the practices themselves for later reference.
Oh,
Oh,
mentions of the thing. Is it
interesting.
where are the pages torn?
Yeah, just erased. Okay.
Yeah,
So
And
there's
if they were erased, you can still see indentations on the other page. Probably.
Yes. All right. So there's a second book somewhere. Do I find anything in the book about the weird watch, or is that just
The Weird Watches. There are deep in the book mentions of the other relics, such as the watch that ticks backwards. But they're mentioned as oh, these are fun curiosos I found abroad. Things that are now accentuated by these newfounds. So
Okay. Just a memento, basically. Curiosity. I figured it would be something like that. All right. Close the book.
come on. I want a listen check.
Yes, 1 second. There we go. 22. And that is actually cross control. Yes. That is within my parameters, but it's just slightly above the huff.
Aw. You hear the crunching of dry grass.
I swing around to look at the source of the sound.
You strangely enough don't see anything, but you could swear it was like real close to you.
Am I still like within the trees?
No, this is like the trees cover like the first fifth at most of the
That's
distance
mostly
from the
just
house to the gate.
grass. Is it high grass or is it like finely cut grass?
It's pretty well maintained grass.
Mm-hmm. So I've heard the sound, but there was nothing there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, too bad I left my everything at the house. So what I would like to do is to move towards the house while listening closely for any sort of sound that will repeat.
Go ahead.
Do I need to roll it again?
Yes. With a
Okay.
bonus die, which means you get to roll another one for your 10s.
58. I don't. Yeah.
Roll again.
But I mean, roll another one for the tens. Roll 1d100 or
Yeah,
1d10.
just roll another 1d100 then.
Okay. Wow.
You don't hear anything strange as you move back to the building, despite the circumstances. It's kind of
Yeah.
eerie.
Must have been playing tricks on me.
Most likely. You're a little bit skittish, but could be worse.
Yeah.
As for Robert, you get the distinct feeling that whatever is in this archive room, it's not everything about this place.
Yeah.
After all, it is like the study directly opposite the staircase, so if anything was going on...
Yeah, you must have had stuff stored elsewhere. Okay, did we get told what the two other rooms at the end of the hall are?
You were just told to not worry about them. They're not used for anything. They're used for like miscellaneous storage from what you were told.
Okay, well, I'll take a peek in all these three rooms here.
Okay. The first one, over here, is indeed just storage. There's a bunch of boxes around. There's nothing particular in it. The next one, which is labeled with like keep out, in construction, is indeed some construction going on.
He was expanding this?
No, they're just like filling it in a bit. You can tell that there's like wiring hanging out. But the kind of weird part is that even though there's like loose wiring and like tarps put up, there's like nothing actually going on. Like there's not like a bucket or something of like, oh, we're building some stuff. It's just like a room that looks like someone wanted to build something there. But the third room, which also is labeled keep out, is has a lot of boxes, but they're like real close to the door for some reason.
They're actually labeled keep out?
Yes. Keep out construction.
I choose to not understand this sign.
Okay, I'll push on the door to clear the boxes. Kind of weird.
I'm going to need a strength check. Roll me strength to try and move these boxes.
No.
It takes you a bit of effort, and your back kind of hurts. Oh my goodness! Rolling 20 to seduce the monster. But yes, you push them aside, and you find yourself in what looks to be a small improv study area. There's a curtain hanging in front of the window, which is strange considering what this room is supposedly for. It is rather dark as the room currently is.
Weird. Why would he? How were the boxes?
They were just two stacks of four total large boxes in front of the door that covered up most of the room and made it kind of difficult to get in.
Yes, which begs the question: how were they put there? Are there any other exits in this room?
There is the window. which, as you noted from outside, was actually open.
Uh-huh.
But there's not much wind here because of the windbreaker, so the curtains are mostly still.
Hmm. Okay. I'll take a closer look around here and call out to Como.
Well, I mean, it's a stone house.
No, there's an open window, so if he calls out through the
Oh.
window.
Am I
Yeah.
on the right side of the building?
Yep, like this is facing towards the driveway and all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Como, there's a open window here. Could you maybe take a look around the grounds underneath it? See if you can find anything.
No, I'm properly spooked, but this is one way to get my mind off of it. So yes.
Excellent. Do you open the curtain or anything?
Well, he probably does to yell at me.
I mean, like properly
Yes.
open them to light up the room and all.
Yes. To actually see anything.
Well then, within the room is, most curiously, there is a book on the small desk. There's like a bunch of containers filled with all kinds of weird things. And on the ground are what seems to be the remains of a circle of sorts.
Oh.
The circle appears to be drawn in some sootish black stuff that sparkles slightly.
All right. This is peculiar. I'll take a closer look at the circle before it gets smudged by me walking on it.
You notice that the circle has indeed been smudged by footprints going directly towards the door. Like something has moved towards the door and something has moved towards the window. And perhaps back again because there's a couple of scuff marks like in a straight line of each other. So the circle itself seems to be mostly a circle, but the closer you look, the more you start to notice that the actual circle, like on the inside and outside of the actual round part, are like small, very small and tiny decorations, like small triangles and squares and such. It's very decorative.
Huh.
Interesting. Well, there was some mention of superstitious magical practices. Maybe he was trying to follow up on those instructions. Some kind of bout of fancy.
In the meantime, while good old Como's looking outside,
Yeah.
he finds some interesting clues. First is
Oh?
he finds so the ground directly around the house where like people walk a lot as not as
Yeah.
much grass as the rest. The actual tiling and like cobblestone that leads up to, that is along the road is elsewhere. But here, quite distinctly, is on the dirt, the flattened dirt, is the indication of a bloodstain of sorts.
Uh-huh. So he might have gotten injured in the house and he like looked out of the window or something.
Perhaps. Though
Holy crap, that's badass, considering he was an old dude.
He wasn't the youngest man, no. Your eyes tell you that the tracks are most clearly heading towards the gate, or at least away from the building.
Okay.
Okay, are you going to do anything else in the room, Robert, now that you've seen this strange circle?
Can I try to examine the circle, try to determine something about it?
What are you trying to determine?
Let me check something. What does anthropology actually do? And if I understand individual to observing the culture, prediction. Okay, maybe not. I just like, does it remind me of some specific culture, or is it is it tied to the traditions of some specific culture, or is it just idle drawing?
Roll me anthropology.
Yes. Let's see. Ooh, hard.
Hard. Okay. As you closely examine the circle, you can tell that some of the decorations on the outer edge and side of the circle are very clearly like a distinct African tribe that lives along the Niger. The inside, however, has much more in common with mathematical circles and such that you've seen some of your students idly doodle.
Oh no.
Hmm. Strange.
Also, was Commander Root that is following me on Twitch. How nice of him.
Strange. What
Sophie,
would-
I have a relevant video for you to look at.
Sure. Hail science.
Hail science!
When you summon an ancient demon with math.
yeah.
I lean into. Is it like at the eye level or something? The window, I mean. That is the first floor, yeah?
No, this is the second floor.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna yell back at Robert and tell him that I found some blood.
Huh. So someone did jump through the window.
Yeah, is there any blood on like the window still? Or is the window, does the window look broken or something?
The window looks as if it's been slid open, as it is intended to be.
Oh, somebody just opened it and jumped out. Okay, fair enough.
Hmm.
He didn't do the whole badass leap out through the closed window thing.
There are still the books on the table and the many like jars of stuff around the room you are in, Robert.
Well, I'm poking
Yeah.
around. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'll take a close look at the book. Hmm.
You examine the book. There is, and as you go back just even a few pages. What is this about, Como? It's a dude. Oh yeah, vampire seduction. But as you examine over the book, examine the book, you find that there is a page in which he very carefully and meticulously drew a complex circle of sorts. Like the circle that it sort of matches the one on the ground. If you squint a little bit, it might be the smudging that makes it worse. Or perhaps he just doesn't have a steady hand. But besides it is the information as to how to summon an angel.
This is just.
He was
Silly.
probably trying to summon a waifu. And it backfired horribly.
He summoned a dead fool.
Dead.
He must have been under some considerable
Oh no, it's
stress.
Bundo, that's what it is.
Consider such foolishness.
He's a man with free time. You know how they go.
Too much free time can mess with one's mind.
Indeed.
Yeah. Is there anything else in the book about this?
It just mentions the ritual, ways to unsummon the angel in case the angel's like, I'm gonna stick around for a bit. Otherwise, you can tell that clearly he didn't like get the full message. Like whoever he was talking to about this was like only giving him half details and such. It's very likely he didn't get along with Mr. Medicine Man too well.
Huh. So that's one connection.
Well, interesting.
The funny part that you might notice, as you
Yeah.
you sort of idly look at the page, first you read, and then you're like, You start to notice that there's a lot of like erased text in this.
How erased?
if-
Well, I mean, he was using a pencil.
Yeah, I was using a pencil. So you can tell that like first he wrote down something, and then he erased like in the proceedings, like how do you summon an angel? Here's how you do it. He erased all of that, and then started rewriting it in a completely different fashion, as if as if someone gave him one recipe and then another.
Is it possible to like cross-hatch it on the other page?
You'd still get the other text, but yes. It would take some time to like really puzzle together what says was.
Well, we have a week. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Go into the
Okay.
cellar, crack out the bottle of some 1865 wine. Just spend the night deciphering monster summoning recipes. Like, why not, right? I assume we still communicate through like the window by yelling to each other.
Well, it is private property. You're fine to do so as you wish.
Yeah, I mean, I can fucking go shrieking if I want to. Do I hear anything, by the way?
Roll me listen.
Hmm. Mm-mm.
Nope.
Damn it. We're having too much fun yelling at each other, so I hear absolutely nothing. If something sneaks up on me and kills me,
Well, your friend
that'll
can
be the
see it
chance.
just fine.
He'll have a front row seat.
Heck.
Okay, was there anything else in the room on the table?
Well, there's all the weird alchemical reagents, and there's
Oh.
more to the book itself. But
Okay, I'll put the book down for now. Yeah, there could be potential research material for later into the cultures, but what kind of stuff is on the table then?
there's just all kinds of stuff. Like, imagine a full alchemy's table. This is what you get. They all got like Latin names and conventional English names. There's
Hmm.
scrapings of all kinds of creatures' horns and nails and hairs.
He went deep into that, deep into that culture, it seems. Adopting their medicinal practices, maybe.
Indeed.
All right.
I don't see anything else here, and I'm feeling spooked out, so I'm probably gonna go head into the house.
Oh,
Second floor.
I'll take a look out. I'll scan the grounds from the window since I
Scan
have
the ground like cyborg guy pops out.
I need a spot hidden from both of you, for different
Oh,
reasons.
a
okay.
slightly more elevated position.
But give me a bonus roll
Dang
on
it.
that one, Belmore, because you are from an elevated position and you are like somewhat more
So-
acutely aware since Como told you.
Okay,
Como,
so roll.
you hit a tripwire that seems to have been sprung between the doorways. Like you walk inside and you just go whoop forwards,
I just flip over and fall on my face.
essentially. You don't take any damage, but it hurts a lot. And Belmore
Yes. It
is
hurts my
unfortunately
chest.
distracted by just how nice the trees are. They're very well tended to.
I'm just staring into the sun, straight into the sun.
Shame.
It's so
With the glasses. Ouch.
Yep. It's so beautiful it hurts.
A lover's comfort. Anyway, Como, you're on the ground.
This is Belmore.
Wait a minute, I'm blind. Holy shit.
He stares into the sun, and he's using lenses to look like a human.
No.
He has an idiot robot. Yeah.
But what is your next step, Como? You are on the floor from a tripwire.
I am on the floor. I'm gonna try to stand up, check if all my bones are intact, and then I'm gonna investigate the tripwire itself.
You investigate the tripwire itself.
Was it there when we were here the first
Yep.
time?
You walk through the doorway just fine.
What the fuck? But yes, I'm gonna investigate the tripwire. So somebody's in here, and somebody's playing tricks.
Mhm.
Heck.
You investigate the tripwire. One side is
Yeah.
just like tied up. The other side seems to be leading to something that looks like a mechanism. But it's not
What
like
is-
attached to anything. It's like a small box with some gears in it. Like it should be doing something, but it isn't, because it's not like attached to anything.
Because they didn't have the time to attach it or something?
Mm-hmm.
Can I try to discern the meaning of that thing?
What would be appropriate here? Give me a mechanical repair one roll.
Okay, let me see if I can actually do that at all. No, it's a 10 chance of success, so. Nope.
The best you can figure out is that
Mhm.
like you can attach a chain to something somewhere maybe, and it would do a
Are there any
thing.
obvious like swing traps on top of it? Above me?
Spot hidden.
Oh, okay. I actually do spot.
You don't see anything that looks particularly dangerous around here. Just a house and the tripwire.
Okay, well, I am very uncomfortable with this, so I'm gonna move over to my things and actually pick the gun out.
You now have a gun in your pocket.
Yeah, it's wow. I have a big pocket. It's I have a strap for it. It's a hunting shotgun, so naturally. And I'm gonna pocket the ammunition for it as well. Now I'm gonna go find Robert
Okay.
and warn him about somebody else in the house,
Hmm.
or at the very least go and ask him like, "What the hell? Why are you
Yes,
setting up
yes.
traps for me?"
Okay. I'm picking up the ritual book just in case, since it was in a locked room.
Do you have a ritual book in your pocket now, or on your person,
Yes.
to say the least?
Yep. Yep. I'll pocket that. Don't really bother myself with the alchemical reagents. That's kind of.
There's a lot of them, and you don't even know which ones are important.
Yeah, it's hocus pocus stuff. I'll take a closer look at the other room that seems to be under construction.
The middle room of the three, just under construction.
Yeah.
It looks like it's supposed to be under construction, but otherwise nothing.
Yeah, there's something weird about this room. Okay.
You know what? You can give me an idea roll.
Idea roll. How does one make an idea roll?
If I'm correct, it's just your intelligence.
Right then.
So 1d100. Heck,
He did it.
badass.
Okay, so you have this faint suspicion that the idea so what the point behind this is you feel that this is like to throw people off. It's like, okay, you check the rooms one by one. You naturally start like from the staircase. So first you see the storage, then you see the room under construction. So why would you check the other room under construction if there's this door? It's like boxes in front of the door as well. So
Sneaky.
like it's been designed with some thought in mind.
That is clever, if kind of also pointing out the signs of paranoia. Since Sir Rottingham was not quite well in the head in his late years, trying to summon the angels, possibly leaping through his own window.
The man needs help. Como,
Oh.
you are now next to Robert.
Next to what? You cut out.
Robert.
Next to Robert. Hello,
Oh,
Robert. Why did you set up a trap for me? I tripped and fell and broke a nose almost.
I haven't left the house since we got here. What are you talking about?
There was a tripwire at the entrance to the house, like inside.
Huh. When we got here, I thought I saw somebody hiding out in the bushes. We might have an intruder on the grounds.
I cocked the gun and I say it must have been that chicken duck woman thing.
The what now?
I'm going to show you in a second, but it's just a
Oh.
character quirk.
Oh, do you mean the? Are you referring to the lip reading thing?
Yes. Clearly a chicken duck woman waiting for us. Dramatic gun cock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but clearly there's somebody else on the grounds aside from us.
Indeed.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Signs seem to be pointing towards that.
how good are you with mechanisms and such?
Uh, Not very. I have people who do that for me, generally.
Oh, cool. Well, do you have them in your pocket?
Well, unfortunately, no, but if you can find a phone, I might be able to call someone.
Is the place connected, by the way, by a landline?
There is a phone line, yes.
Okay.
There's only one phone, and it's in like the main hall.
Oh, I'll head there, and then I'll ask Robert to take a look at the thing, and then call probably local services or something, or the police.
You can call the operator.
So, who exactly are you? Do you want me to hire to come here?
I don't know if it's like specifically hire. How would that work, by the way? Considering we're both out of our like usual home environments, I suppose.
Well, you can always call the operator. The operator's generally for that. Get you like a
Okay.
number or a place.
I'm gonna call the operator. I'm gonna request to call the police, and I'm gonna. Well, I suppose I have to pay for it. Because yeah, sure. Send the bill over here. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. To a dead guy.
So what are you calling for? The police?
Police. I'm going to report that somebody is actually trespassing on the territory that is supposed to be closed out. Where the murder just happened.
Oh, when I saw that somebody in the bushes, did I get a kind of description of what they look like? Or
They look like a normal person. You couldn't quite make out, but they look like the silhouette of a human.
Yeah. Oh,
How
yes.
would you make out with a stranger?
They, when I saw them, they had something on them that maybe a crystal or something.
Indeed. They had something glimmering.
Yes.
Glittering.
I don't know if that's important detail, but they did have something on them.
The police, by the way, do ask like about the trespasser if they're still on the grounds and all that kind of stuff, like so that they don't.
We assume yes, because they've actually broken into the house.
And set up traps.
The officer on the other side of the line, the operator
traps,
actually,
apparently.
is like, okay, I'll connect the police and all, and soon enough, they ask if you wish a police officer to come and keep an eye out.
We would love to, yes. An extra pair of eyes would be useful.
Excellent. Well, it's a quiet town, so I'll send someone over who will eventually arrive. It'll be a little bit because the police station is a distance away from where you are.
All right. It's nice of them.
And so, well, you gonna call anyone else, Como?
Anyone else? Well, our Robert said he could send for someone. Maybe if you know somebody in the local area.
He meant in the sense that he hires people, not that he knows people.
Well, he would
Yes.
probably know people from whom he can hire.
Where he lives, perhaps.
Okay, fair enough. Jesus.
Yeah,
Fine.
might know a repair, like someone who owns a repair shop in Arkham.
Huh.
Or a car mechanic in, again, Arkham.
Arkham.
Yeah, that's an example. I have money, I could maybe contact someone in here to do something.
Point is, Como,
Yes.
it's just not gonna happen. You
Okay,
have to
fair
call the
enough.
operator and have to ask for a company that could help with whatever you need help with.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, a police officer will suffice for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over to the trap and I'm gonna show it to Robert.
Okay, well, take a look at the trap and
Roll mechanic repair.
yeah, that's. Oh wow!
Okay, so one time While you were
hard.
one time when you were coming back into your office, you remember the one time that a student set up a little trap for you with a thing like this. At the time, it operated some sort of pea shooter-like device, and it shot this wad of gunk at you. But you remember it from that little naughty device they used. However, you also remember that thing was made out of like conventional metals instead of whatever this is.
Oh,
And this looks any different?
It has a like your geologist backgrounds mean that you kind of know that this doesn't really look and feel like metal necessary, like iron would and should. There's something off about it, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Is it supposed to like shoot someone?
Well, the mechanic's just like a mechanism. There's a connection point that to what Robert knows is supposed to hook into something, and could theoretically pull the trigger on a thing.
okay. Do I find whatever this thing should be connected to?
Nope. Whatever it was supposed to connect to has not been placed.
All right. And an incomplete trap then. Can I tell anything about the? You said that the metals used in the construction are weird.
Yes. It feels a little lighter than iron. Also feels a bit less like metallic. A bit more like stone, if anything.
Huh. This is extremely peculiar. Why would anyone build something like this? And where would they get this stuff?
And it wasn't here before.
Oh, does it look? Yeah. Does it look recently built?
Give
Like,
me a
well, we can-
geology check.
Oof, fumble.
It looks as old as any other rock.
It was built in the Jurassic era.
Yeah, thanks. That's very helpful.
The dragons made this. I mean, the dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's as old as time. It's
Mother Nature made this. Better return it and just throws it out the window.
Mother Nature.
Return to sender, little dirt mound.
actually now that I. So this was something like this here. Maybe we should take a closer look at the door, at the main doorway. Like, was the body like lying in front of the main doorway of the place?
No. He was like way off.
Oh,
Yeah, it
In
was
the
found
field.
like halfway between the building and the exit.
right. I was just figuring if he had fallen afoul of something similar to this.
He made it pretty far considering he fell off the second-story building. Holy shit. That dude was badass.
Yeah, see.
I appreciate that Como's priorities are in check.
I'm sorry, what?
I appreciate that Como's priorities are in check.
Yeah, well, I
Complimenting
mean,
the badassness.
well, it's a dead old dude that was meddling with summoning demons. Of course he's badass, but now he's like also physically badass.
So you're all just still standing in the doorway.
In the
right?
main hall. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, the trap is inside the house?
Yes, it was located a short distance past the door.
Huh. Okay, that is extra troubling. Ooh. I'll go and take a look at the food supply.
You take a look at the larder. There's your usual stuff. A lot of meats. A lot of like. There's some potatoes, some corn. Flour.
Does anything here look like it has been tampered with?
In fact, it doesn't
Okay.
look disturbed. Looks like it's been sitting here for a bit.
Okay. Okay, so that's good. This whoever has broken into here doesn't seem to want to poison us or anything.
Como, did you follow Robert
Yes. Yes.
into the larder?
Yes. I'm gonna watch his back because he's an old fart.
I'm 40.
Go, Jesus! Don't insult your friend.
I'm a young fart. He's an old fart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, I'll. Okay. Okay. I'll take a look at the kitchen then. Yes.
It's a well-stocked kitchen. You got your pots, your pans, your oven, your stoves. There's a small gas tank underneath the stove itself because, you know,
Is it full?
it's almost full.
Okay.
It's been used a little bit.
Well, at the very least, you can cook something with modern amenities as opposed to just on an open fire.
Hmm.
As you look out the window of the kitchen, you can see that there is a car pulling up to the gate.
Must be the police then.
Indeed.
Well, I mean, it took us 50 minutes to arrive here from the airport, so could be somebody else.
It's been a bit. Like, you've been looking around and thinking a bit, so.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
All right. Shall we go and
Yeah.
greet them?
Lock the doors,
Hmm.
and we'll greet the guys.
You walk over. Step, step, step. It takes a while to
Yes.
get there. It's like it's quite a distance. You can't imagine
Well, yeah,
having to walk all this way after falling down a window.
There's like an entire park there, yeah.
When you're around halfway there, however,
Mhm.
you suddenly hear the distinct of a distant gunshot.
Oh,
Oh.
heck.
How distant?
And where is the direction?
It's coming like from the opposite direction of the grounds. The police officer is visibly like shocked, like you see him jump up a bit, and then he immediately gets in his car to investigate.
Okay, we'll. I'm at least approaching the police officer. Like,
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
The police officer heard it, which is why he is getting in his car and driving towards the sound.
Oh,
Can we like hop in as well?
You're like halfway there. Like he needs to do this now. So
Heck. Well,
Ah.
sure. Okay, fine. Jesus, there's the second car in there anyway, so.
well, he does drop
just
like his
drive that
little
as well.
he does drop his little deputy behind, who was mostly there to drive the car away again.
Oh, okay. So there's a little deputy.
Yeah, he's like, hello.
Hi. Does it happen often?
No, I'm actually kind of worried.
should we follow him?
Because there's the car, and here's the keys.
Okay, we'll go and we should probably go then. He left me behind just in case, you know, someone would come this way too. So we could go and drive, I guess.
Yeah, but you know, you should probably come with us because separating at this kind of moment is never a good idea. I think. I feel.
Okay.
Because the owner got shot, and there's still a trespasser on the grounds, and now there's new gunshots, and you know your pal might actually need some assistance.
Okay. He follows along at this point.
Yeah.
So I pull out I retrieve my shotgun from my trunk.
You have your shotgun.
Heck yes.
We are well-armed house sitters.
Perfect for hunting zombies.
So what do you do?
So
Follow the direction of the car, or at least like the tracks of the car. Of the police car, yeah.
Okie-dokie. Can I get a track roll?
track.
Because this
Track,
is
track.
relatively dry dirt, so it's not the easiest thing to just look and follow.
Holy crap.
Oh, wait. I think I track. No, I
Bada bing.
didn't write the.
Bada bing, bada boom. Should I speak with
Hey.
with an accent? Probably should.
But yes, you actually managed to follow the tracks for a while, and the car. So the exit is right next to the lake.
Mhm.
It follows along for a little while. past some of the buildings that are next to it. Then it hits north. No, it keeps going south. Why would it go north? The sound came from south. It goes south for a distance, then it goes right, off towards the fields. Like there's some construction next to the lake. There's here just whoop into the fields, right near a place which the police officer helpfully identifies as Clear Fork. You see the police officer's car in the ditch, and no police officer.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Deputy gets out and he starts like shouting out for his superior.
What's his name again?
This one is Deputy Smith.
Deputy Smith, and what was the officer's name?
The other officer never introduced himself.
Yeah, but what
Well,
is the...
he's crying his name out, so I assume.
He is crying his name out. I guess that's fair. Shanda Dorothy.
Okay. Shane. Okay, fair enough.
Okay, I'll keep a lookout. Try to see where he might have gone.
Excellent. So the deputy goes further down the road. Which direction are you going to look? You can look along the river if you wish.
Sure.
I'm gonna follow the river, and Robert, unless he has any other ideas, should probably stay with the deputy.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
want to
stay.
lose 2 police officers at once. We need like a witness that we didn't kill them.
Yeah, I'll follow the deputy.
Okay. Como follows the river.
Mhm.
Upstream he goes.
Yes. Is there anything floating on the river that I can see? Down the river, I mean. It's like, hey, we're looking for the officer, and he's like floating down the river.
As you go up the river, you eventually see something in the distance. It is a human who appears to be, or it looks like a human. It is an entity that appears to be wearing some sort of raincoat. There's all kinds of strands hanging from him, like big clots of dirty hair. He is carrying
My
a shotgun
favorite.
that glimmers an odd light.
Holy heck. I wave to them, and I try to get their attention. Have you seen a police officer nearby? Mayhaps, sir.
The creature seems to already
Yeah.
be aware of you. Like, it is looking at you from what you can tell, even though it has like a hood pulled over its head.
I do the finger guns. There you go.
But was that a bright idea?
Is it immediately hostile in any way?
It seems to be lifting up a thing it's carrying and aiming it towards you. The gleaming thing.
Oh heck, I'm just gonna dive towards the nearest. I assume there's some sort of trail. So
There
you
are
would
like
have,
trees
like, a
nearby.
rock
Like
or
there's
what.
some
Yeah.
growth you could hide behind.
Step right behind the tree and say
Give me
that
a
I mean no
dodge.
harm. But yes, dodge would be half dex. So half of my dex is actually 32. Yes.
You
Yeah.
are behind the tree as the bullet
Did it
whizzes
actually
by.
shoot at me?
As something whizzes by.
Damn
In
it.
the meantime, good old Deputy Smith are looking for Mr. Shane Dorothy, who you happen to find like a short distance up the trail. He seems to be looking off into the distance before he turns around and sees you.
Oh. Smith and Bob go down the road.
You also hear a gunshot off in the distance, and the officer seems like, god damn it.
Huh.
I swear I saw him slip up the road.
Yes, but that gunshot was coming from the...
I
that
saw
direction.
him run over there. He keeps pointing down the road. He ran over there. I tell you. Now it's over there? That doesn't make sense. He looks a bit...
Could be more of
frustrated.
the one perpetrator.
Could be. Could be. Anyway, he's a little bit frustrated at you, and he points at Mr. Smith and tells the Deputy Smith to keep you within the car because this is a dangerous situation. As he begins to run off towards the river.
The heck?
My friend went in that direction.
Great. In the meantime, Como, you are dealing with one hell of a situation. What are you going to do?
I'm going to inform that I mean this creature no harm. Assuming you don't understand like freaking English. It clearly shot at me. Yeah, I assume it was threatened at the very least. It's like I don't want to kill anyone just because they shot at me at first. Maybe it's just misunderstanding.
Do you peek out of cover to closely examine this creature or anything?
Yes, I quickly peek out just to see where it is exactly.
Now do you get a closer look? This human-esque figure isn't wearing a coat. It's wearing more like a moss. Like imagine if an organic ghillie suit.
Ghillie suit.
That is semi-attached to the person wearing it.
Cool. Well, I do have a gun. If it continues aiming at me and being hostile, I'll just have to shoot it.
Another shot slams into the tree with tremendous force, causing like large sections of wood and bark to splinter outwards. It is also stepping towards you with very little care for its own life.
Well, good for me. I take aim and I peek out and shoot it.
Romeo firearms.
Yep.
Holy shit, that's an extreme. Okay, Como.
Yes, and my firearm's a 65, so that's, yeah.
Okay, Como, here's the fun part. If you
Yes.
roll an extreme, I think, with impaling weapons, you do maximum damage and get to roll damage again.
Heck.
Which is a very nice way of saying, whatever you just hit is already destroyed.
Yeah, well, it's 4d6 for a bullet, for a slug.
You strike the creature with tremendous might. You can still roll me damage if you want to feel good about yourself, but...
Yeah, sure. Maybe we'll roll all ones. Roll 4d6, and then plus 4d6.
And then I'm going to need a sanity check.
Sanity check. Would that be just 100 again?
Yeah, just a 1d100 against 75. Or 65.
Well, that's put me right off
Okay.
my off
Como,
my butt.
you manage to hit this creature, and it just its head shatters. The rain of shrapnel tears it apart. At first, the moss just goes every which way, and then it slowly, as it stumbles towards the ground, stops in midair and turns almost completely into a gleaming crystal, dropping its weapon on the ground. You lose 5 points of sanity, and you are just visibly shaking as you see that you not only killed and destroyed a human being, but that human being decided to do something else other than just lie down and die. You are frozen right up until the moment that you see the police officer behind you walking up.
Yeah.
He's like, what in tarnation is this?
That individual tried to shoot me, and as I shot it back, it turned into that.
What the heck?
That was my question too.
The officer steps a bit closer. In the meantime, we're going to go back to Robert and the deputy. We're standing by the car, kind of waiting there. You can tell that the deputy is kind of nervous over all this shooting going on.
Wait a second. Oh, wait. I'll just, when it goes back to me, yeah.
So this isn't the normal like occurrence around here. Then this kind of shootings.
Not really. It's not like we're in the Wild West anymore.
Right.
Well, they are 1 century closer to it than we are.
Oh man, almost literally a century. Ooh. Time flies.
What is the standard practice when something like this does occur?
Well, I already called in for reinforcements, so.
Good man.
They should arrive soon enough. Until then, we're going to stay put, and we're going to hope that whatever he finds, he can get away from before shooting happens.
Well, did we hear like 2 different kinds of shooting
you heard
noises?
2 very distinct shooting noises, yes.
Yeah.
And it's now been
Yes.
quiet for a little bit.
Yes, I hope they are okay. There's some kind of shootout going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys shouldn't relax because you saw somebody moving over there.
Give me spot hidden from Robert.
Spot hidden. No.
I mean, technically you failed, but you still see him because his stealth check is actually shit. You see a strange figure sitting in a shrub a distance away.
Look.
Somebody just decided to poop and we're disturbing everyone.
No, this figure's wearing a hood of sorts.
Oh.
Look out, deputy. I see some movement in the bushes.
The deputy looks over. Like, first looks a bit like, what's over there? Then he sees the guy.
Yeah.
And he gets a bit like, hey, who's there? Like, holds up his hand. He's trying to de-escalate the situation. You're sounding a bit nervous. Combo, in the meantime, the police officer is looking over the perp's body. Or, well, the perp's statue would be an apt description.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I checked to see if there's anything off about the officer, because last I heard, the officer, I think, could have been in a different direction entirely. I don't know, maybe it's just something wearing his skin or something.
All right.
I don't know, he just pops out of nowhere. It's like, what? Is there anything like off about him?
Extreme paranoia immediately.
Roll me a psychology check.
Immediately, well, I mean, yeah, psychology check. Well,
It looks fine to you.
that's 65, and mine is, yeah, not very great. Okay. He looks okay. I'm gonna go over and pick up the gun.
You pick up the gun. The gun in question is a rather impressive looking. Like, this is a really high model. A bit generic. Like, this is not like a specific make, but it's a rifle of sorts.
Yeah. And it was shooting some really weird projectiles, so I'm gonna open up the chamber, pull the bolt back, and see what kind of ammunition it's using.
You decide to do that. And notice that this strange device, which appears to be made out of crystal, if anything, doesn't have any bullets. I'm gonna need another sanity check.
Another sanity check. Oof.
Because you don't notice like any bullets, you notice any cartridge. In fact, it doesn't even have the clip is a solid mass. There's a firing mechanism, but there's like no space to actually put any ammo.
Huh.
If I'm correct, you still have enough sanity to okay. You
I have
hold
60
fast,
sanity,
but you're like a little bit disturbed, like
I'm a little bit disturbed. Yes, I'm gonna point it towards the lake, and I'm gonna pull the trigger real quick.
All right. You take your best aim. The officer looks at you and is like, "What are you doing?" As you pull the trigger, and it fires a rather tremendous shot into the water, causing a rather impressive splash for a projectile-based weapon, as it is.
Was it like usually with certain guns, the bullets are moving slowly enough that you can actually see them travel? Was there any indication of that?
You saw like a streak of light, you think, and you also lose 1 point of sanity, as you are visibly shaken by the fact that you just shot an empty gun. And the officer's like, "What are you doing? Why are you shooting guns?"
Because it doesn't look like a regular gun, and I love guns. Man, I love guns.
In the meantime, you hear another gunshot in the distance. And we go back to Robert.
Oh.
Robert. Wow.
Yes.
Holy shit. This officer got lucky. Robert, the police officer, what happened in the meantime is the guy in the bushes started getting closer. Like, he started creeping through the bushes. You lost track of him. And then he popped out of a completely different set of bushes.
What?
And then the guy pulled out what seemed to be a revolver of sorts. But before he could fire, somehow, this deputy, like a goddamn gunslinger from the West, pulls out his revolver and lands a fucking critical hit. This nervous deputy just fucking lands it. However, the creature still seems to be standing, despite taking what is effectively a hit shot, and like a good hole is in his head. I'm also going to need a sanity check.
Oh.
You don't usually see a person's head blown up.
Oh, hey.
Ooh, hey. You're
Apparently,
fine.
you're used to seeing people's heads blown off.
You still take
Well-
1 like sandy damage, but I'm not gonna like do the thing where you have to take control for a second because you're like whoa, but you're not actually truly shaken. You still have your action if you wish to take one.
Okay.
The creature is stunned from the fact that it lost an eye.
Okay. How far away is it?
By now,
Pop
it has
right
managed
out.
to creep up to being within like 15 yards. Like it's a good distance close.
Okay, I'll blast it with my shotgun then. It's look dangerous and yeah.
Whoa! You get
Holy
hard.
crap.
So you decide to do the smart thing of, I can't shoot this guy in the head. That deputy just got lucky. Like he probably went for a body shot, which is what officers are generally trained to do because it's easier.
His sights were off.
You go for a body shot as well, causing much of the shrubbery to just fly everywhere as the creature falls backwards. You don't hear a thud though, as if it never hit the
Does it-
ground.
Does it turn into crystal as well?
You can't see from this angle.
By the way, the creature turned into crystal for me and the officer. Does it you did say that it didn't fall? Is it like floating in the air?
It's more that it seems to like its feet are connected to the ground, that kind of way.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Did it fall like back or forward or?
It fell forward in your case. This one seems to have fallen backwards.
Are you okay, deputy?
He's shaken. He's like, oh man, like this is probably the first time he had to pull his gun and shoot someone.
Yeah.
And he saw what happened.
shot-
Like he's like, oh man, I'm gonna need a break. So he
I
takes
shot
out
the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy.
a flask and he takes a sip, which is
Good.
surprising
Whoop.
considering that we are in the Prohibition era.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
So
they
whatever's
would
in
have
there, who
access.
knows?
prohibition doesn't work.
Okay.
But only with alcohol. It works with every other drug.
Should we take a closer look at? Did they go down? I didn't hear them go down.
You go take a look.
All right, fine then, a police officer. I hate the civilian.
And every time you call him a police officer, he just angrily says, "Deputy."
People don't shoot me; they shoot my boss.
Yes.
Fine,
You walk
then,
over to the shrubbery.
Yeah.
And inside, or rather said behind it, you see the fallen over body, half crystallized, and then completely crystallized.
the
And next to
hell?
it, you see a crystal revolver of sorts.
Heck.
All right. What the hell? Deputy Smith, could you come here?
He slowly comes over. He's like, "Oh, I can't believe it. Can't believe I have to do my job. I usually have like no shanning for that,
Yeah, the bullets come out of my salary.
Usually has a Dorothy to take care of the stuff for him, so he's not used to it. He
Yes.
just looks at the body and goes, "What do you want me to do with this?" Wait, what?
It's that.
It's glass now.
Yeah, this is weird.
Combo, what
Okay.
are you doing in the meantime?
Like, can I determine what kind of crystal it is?
Roll me geology. Holy shit. Despite not having any tools on you, you can tell that this particular crystal is actually cubic zirconia. And a pretty
Uh-huh.
flawless variety of it. Like, it looks almost like diamond.
Right. It seems our shooter here has turned into cubic zirconium.
The officer just gives you a look of like, why does that matter?
Excuse me?
Why does that matter? Like, the perp's gone.
People usually don't turn to crystal upon
This
death.
is a diversion, he says.
Wait, what now?
He's in denial.
You see that the deputy is suddenly just walking off and is like looking through the bushes.
Yes, of course. They must have slipped away.
Excuse me.
Of course, yes. Well, I
But
don't know what
Como,
I was thinking.
what are you doing?
Yes.
The police officer at this point has confiscated the rifle, or at least taken it away from you until you promise you're not going to
Yeah,
shoot it
I'm
again.
gonna. Well, I show him the gun that it is actually like not an actual gun.
He's very surprised, and you can tell by by his look the look on his face that he's like, oh man, this is going to be one hell of a report to write, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen anything like this before?
He shakes his head like he tells you that he's seen many guns in his days, but he's never seen a gun like this.
Yeah. Well, neither have I. Also, gunshots. Let's go check up on that.
He nods and takes a quick mental note of the environment so that he can get back here soon enough when he
Yeah.
calls in. But before you actually get there, like you see Robert standing between the bushes. You can see him quite clearly because he's standing beside one. You can see the deputy sometimes pop out of shrubbery as he's looking around. Dorothy heads into the car itself to call in that they're going to need a morgue car, a body bag and all that stuff.
Actually, I would imagine they don't actually have like radios or anything in the cars, but they do have like landline phones, so we would have to head to the the mansion to actually report on anything.
Okay, you're right.
I'll try to pull the body from the bushes onto the side of the road. So it's
you take the crystal shape and take it over to the side of the road. And you
Is
see
it
the police
heavier
officer who looks at
or
it and goes,
lighter? Is it heavier or lighter than a regular human corpse?
It's a lot lighter than the average human corpse.
Huh. This is weird. This is really, really strange. Why would someone... How would someone create something like this? And just as a... For what purpose? Como, can I take a close look at this thing? Does it...
Yeah, we've seen a dude turn into this over there too.
So this was a person?
It, by the looks of it, I mean, what else could point a gun at you and shoot?
Well, this one didn't have time to shoot.
Well, mine did. Shot me twice, actually, I think.
Huh.
Did it shoot me twice or only once, by the way?
I mean, he shot twice at you. Yes.
Yeah, but it destroyed a tree and, yeah. And it almost hit me.
Right. I'll pick up the crystal revolver.
That's very light in your hand compared to the average revolver you've held.
Does it have any bullets in it?
Nope. You check the chamber and it's actually like a solid piece.
Huh.
Like it's just a crystal in the shape of a gun. It doesn't have any moving parts, I guess.
It's like a plastic toy gun. It reminds you, if you ever seen like plastic toy guns, it's basically what that is. It looks like a gun, but it wouldn't fool anyone with any knowledge of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This cannot be a real weapon. Look at it. It's just a solid chunk of zirconium.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna point it safely towards the lake, and I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Actually, while I'm still holding it, I'm going to demonstrate that it isn't a real weapon by pointing it at the sky and pulling the trigger.
And the moon shatters in the distance.
Okay, so you lose a point of sanity, and you hear a loud as you shoot a streak of light into the sky.
Well, good thing you weren't pointing it at us, you know.
What in tarnation?
You also notice that the streak of light goes straight up, seems unaffected by gravity, and just stops. For the brief moment it exists.
Like it's a lightning strike.
Essentially.
Officer is like gonna...
The police officer at this point, by the way, was talking to the deputy and trying to get him to stop looking around.
Yes.
Because he seems to be in a daze, if anything. And he just looks over and goes, God damn it, could you not do that?
By the end of this story, Officer is just going to be carrying like a million guns that he took from us because we keep fucking around with them.
He's going to take every one of your guns. It's
yes,
not Obama who took your guns, it's the local sheriff.
It's the local sheriff, yeah. 1 second.
How does this thing work? It doesn't have any moving parts that I can see.
It made all the moving. It made all the movement. The hammer swung, the cylinder turned, everything worked the way it was supposed to. It's just that there's no
Safi look.
feasible way for it to actually function.
Safi look.
So,
Wait, I'm looking at this thing Claire posted. Oh my god, Claire. She needs to stop.
gun elemental.
Look at this picture. Look at this photograph.
I'm looking. Oh no, that's something. So that's the wrong channel. Officer. That's a lot of guns.
He's gonna have all the guns.
Don't know what you'd need that many guns for, but there you
All right. I'll examine the statue more closely. Like,
The statue looks very convincing. Other than the fact that the humanoid shape isn't like... There's something wrong with it.
Something off.
Yeah. Like, once you take a closer look at like the facial features and all, other than the fact that he got like his eye blown out and has a huge hole in his head, there's something very unhuman about it.
Yeah, it is. Okay. But well, aside from the rapid crystallization, these do not appear to be human.
Indeed.
What is happening in here?
I've got no idea, but by the looks of it, the owner of the place was shot by the same kind of weapon.
Are we seriously being invaded by Martians or something here?
It's probably Venus, but yes. Oh yeah, Martians. Yeah, because wait, when was the War of the Worlds?
This is like 1920s, is shortly after World War One.
It was written between 1895 and 1897, and then was radio broadcast, radio drama. 1938. Never mind, it wasn't Halloween. So we know of it. We haven't heard the thing that made people think that Martians invaded.
Hee hee hee.
Also, ow, garlic is nasty.
Oh,
I just eat garlic because of some like childhood thought that it actually helps with health and everything. It's a healthy food to eat. Like I'm turning my mouth into like burnt crisp.
Jeez.
Yes.
So what do you all do?
Probably head to the mansion to actually report on this.
I am being terribly confused.
Everyone is terribly confused. Yes.
The officer of the law and his little deputy are going back to the police car, and they're going to drive back. And they tell you to stay available until they get this sorted out.
Wait, are they heading out to the town back, or are they heading to the
They're
mansion?
heading out to the town back.
Oh,
Reinforcements will arrive shortly.
yeah, well,
He just needs to bring this guy home because he's being more of a bother than he's being good.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Don't stop for anything.
Yep.
Because clearly we're dealing with an organized crime group, so you'd be better just floor it.
Okay.
But after
should
this,
we
it's mostly quiet. Eventually the reinforcements will arrive, but nothing else seems to happen in the meantime.
Ugh.
All right. Actually, in light of all of this, I'll take a closer look at the ritual book.
Can you take a closer look
Yeah.
at it?
Well, are we gonna drive back to the mansion then?
Yeah, if you could drive, I'll go read this book.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand my torchlight to Robert
All right, thank you.
because cars didn't really have lights at the time.
It's getting darker as
Yeah.
the day goes on. By now, as the car pulls up to the estate, the sun is slowly starting to set.
Yeah.
The police officers are inspecting that local area to see what's going on, and you are left to your own devices. As Robert reads the book, what do you?
And this time
specifically
we'll actually I will specifically park the car next to the mansion
Okay.
as opposed to the gates because, duh.
As you examine the book, you find that it's full of like descriptions of the knickknacks you found in the archive room, and their supposed applications.
Oh.
Uh-huh. All right. Is there anything pertaining to crystalline entities?
Not necessarily. None of them.
And
Like, there's nothing related to crystal stuff. No.
is there anything in like angel stuff
Well, there's the
mentioning crystals?
the final pages are about the angel summoning ritual.
Yeah, but is there like any descriptor of what angels actually are?
The original description that you get out of it mentions that the shaman was able to summon angels, which were believed to be large feathery creatures.
Wait, so he was actually able to summon it as this guy was around? He got actually to witness the actual angels?
No, that's the
and such?
description he got from the shaman.
Oh, so he didn't actually summon anything.
Judging by how
For him.
it was written, and at the end he mentions like, "I'm going to test this out now." Yeah.
Maybe he was actually able to make this stuff work somehow, which is
Well, considering he has rewritten the instructions, he probably did, yeah.
how.
But since he changed the instructions, he probably summoned something else.
maybe maybe the superstitious ramblings have some kind of seed of truth to them, when combined with advanced mathematics.
I don't know, buddy. The only angels I've seen are the ones that are in the red lights district.
That's terrible.
Indeed. Boy in a bottle.
Heh.
Hey, a man has his needs. And it's cheaper than finding a wife.
Mhm.
Because, you know, free women turn out to be the most expensive ones.
Yes.
Well, the prohibition lasted a while.
Yep.
13
Now we have the
years.
same prohibition with, like, drugs and whatever.
But yes, the
Ah.
what are you trying to
Well,
do now?
I'm just
Okay.
pacing about and looking out the windows to see if there are any more of those figures moving about.
Roll me spot hidden twice. Rob, what are you doing?
I remember you mentioning something about banishing angels being in
Yes.
the book. I'll take a closer look at that stuff.
So he mentions that sometimes the angels get a little bit like, what if an angel's like, I'm gonna stick around and you don't want him to, because an angel is summoned, you can send them away again. The original spell apparently required ash. The way to get them away is to use something that is the opposite of ash. Something that would not benefit the growth of plants, as he writes it.
Okay, so salt.
Salt? I love how we came to the same conclusion at the same time.
After that,
Salt.
all you have to do is supposedly just speak the spell in reverse.
I'm gonna go into the kitchen and I'm gonna make a bandolier out of salt shakers.
You have to draw the circle. It's not like salt at the angel is gonna make it go away.
But we'll still need like salt, so at the very least I'm gonna have pocket salt.
There is a big bag of salt because they live out in a place where salting meat wasn't uncommon.
Yeah.
And he owns a
Okay.
ranch, so
All right, I'll also take some salt and go back to the room where the ritual seems to have been first cast.
Mhm.
And so it was the same spell, but in reverse.
yes.
They have to pronounce it backwards.
All right, I'll draw a salt circle on top of the ash circle.
Most excellent.
Wait, why does it have to be about growing plants? Is it like Are they summoned into like a fucking vegetables?
It's the description he was given.
Yeah. I
Okay,
do not know what the connection could.
Plant-based life forms.
But they're made of crystal, so I don't know.
Plant-based angels.
Maybe those weren't the angels.
Hmm.
He did change the instructions, so and the ingredients. He probably summoned something else. It's like you called a different number.
Entirely possible.
I don't understand how this stuff works.
Well, out of character. Half the shit that I do on the computer, I have no idea how it works, but it works. So it's basically shamanism.
So, Como, where are you at
Yes.
this point? As the
I
owner?
am putting salt into all of my pockets.
Are you in the kitchen?
I am in the kitchen. Yes, I'm grabbing all the salt that I can.
All right,
I'm
then.
stuffing my pockets. Or I suppose if you took the bag that I'm just sitting in the same room and just filling my pockets with salt. It's like some monster shows up, I like trip and fall over and salt falls out of my pockets. It's like spaghetti.
Spaghetti in your pockets, yes, sure. Why not? Humor me. As you are performing the ritual, and are essentially you're essentially doing the ritual in reverse, right?
Yes.
Okay. As you do so, you can feel something happening. You slowly but surely feel something, but then at the end there's just nothing. It's as if something was missing or lacking.
All right. That didn't feel right. I don't know how, but it didn't feel right.
You get the feeling it's more a problem with you than with the ritual itself.
Huh. Maybe if you try it. This is new sort of science. I don't know how this works exactly.
Hello, Pizza Pony. Sure,
Yeah.
I can try it. You just need to tell me what exactly to do.
Spaghetti in his pants. Hell. Okay.
Well, there's this incantation here. You speak it backwards, and
How did you read it that it didn't work? Were you just reading the words in reverse order, or were you like pronouncing the words backwards too?
yeah, backwards, everything backwards. That seems to be
okay. That's fair enough. I'm gonna try that too, I suppose. I mean, it's not like we can revive the dead guy. Okay, I am going to read out the incantation backward with the words and everything and try to repeat the ritual backwards under the guidance of Robert.
You read the ritual backwards, and as you do, Robert hears a kick on the door downstairs.
Holy shit. Do I hear it too, or?
You're busy. You're busy talking, and it's not that loud a kick.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I closed the window in the room, and I guess I put the when I hear the kick, I'll step out of the room and look down the corridor.
Okay, as you send me to keep going.
Yes. Keep going. Maybe does it feel like it's doing something?
Como, you feel as if something is drawn out of you and starting to flow into the room around you.
Well, I'm feeling like my soul is getting stolen right now, so yeah.
Yeah, those don't exist, so you should be fine.
I'm not Ginger though. Shit, we should have hired a Ginger for this. Damn it. It's like it literally, you meet the devil, you make a deal for the devil, and you sell your soul, and he's like, ha ha ha, I own your immortal soul, and then you pull off your helmet. It's like, I'm a ginger, fuck you. Yes. Yes, you take what you can probably take my gun too. It's like it's a two-barrel gun, so you can use both. You can be BJ Blazkowicz with us. Fucking dual-wield shotguns.
Como, as you
Yes.
reach the end of it, you start to notice that the room itself bends in odd ways. There is
Oh,
a
holy
small
fuck.
mote of light at the center of the circle.
Heck. Did I just keep going as this happens, or did I finish and then it started happening?
You finish, and the mote of
Mhm.
light rises up. You hear stomping down the hallway.
Uh-oh. Hello, Mr. Light.
What is Robert doing?
Keeping watch.
You
Down
see a dark
I-
figure walking towards you. He has a very big and scary shotgun.
Stop. Do not come any closer. Whatever you are.
Yeah, we're doing things to animals here.
Doing things to animals? The creature doesn't seem to respond, and is actually
Heck.
raising its gun, until it
Oh,
suddenly
boy.
sees light shining out from behind you, into the hallway.
It's the motor light. Don't worry about it. It seems friendly.
Indeed.
Okay, well, I don't know what's going on there, but I have something terrible in front of me, so I take aim and try to shoot the gun.
Roll me firearms.
Nice.
Oh, wow. You actually land a pretty solid hit. The figure, and its proximity to you, causing it to take significant damage as the slug burrows into him. But he seems mostly undaunted by this, as he takes slow and steady steps forward.
Yeah, these don't look like they're...
As it lifts up its weapon, you are
Ugh.
free to make a dodge action to dive into the room again.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Ooh. You stumble back into the room. You hear a shot, and the doorway splinters and shatters. But more importantly, the mote of light seems to slowly but surely hover into the hallway. Over you.
Hey,
as you lie
I
on the
summoned you,
ground.
not this prick. Come back. I am your master.
You will obey me.
Yeah, I summoned you. I paid for the services with my salt. This guy has not paid nothing.
With your salt.
Yes, salt is good. I love salt.
Just put salt on garlic and snacks it down.
Well, yes, you take the back of the bread, you know, the crust of the bread, and then you cut the one tooth of garlic into pieces, then you rub all over it, and then you take a little bit of olive oil, and then you put on top of that, and then you add some salt, and that's like the most delicious thing.
But
As the firefight is going on, I'm just spouting
the
food
mote of
facts.
light slams into the creature,
Shit, yeah.
and it just evaporates.
The creature or the moat?
Both. There was a flash, and then there was nothing, but no one was there to witness it.
Damn it. So we just saw the flash of light, and when we picked into the corridor, there was nothing.
Mhm.
Damn. Do we have to make more of these experiments again? To get rid of all the other things?
Yeah, I don't know how many of those things there are.
We'll just keep casting them until they stop floating out. Also, they seem to be like... Did it just go straight through the door, or did it like fly around the stuff?
It went
Like,
through
does
the
it
door
conform
if it
to-
could, if it had to.
No, I meant like through the wall. Like, does it conform to...
Nope.
The rules of the sport? Oh, so it just went straight for the thing. Okay, well, we'll just keep casting this thing until we run out of stuff.
Oh.
Do I notice anything different about myself?
Well, you are very much shaken. You don't feel yourself. You've taken 10 points of sanity, and you screamed as you
Ow.
finished the spell.
Yes.
But yes, you try to cast the spell again, but nothing seems to happen. You don't know why. It doesn't even seem to, like, base activate. So you're not even getting, like,
Maybe
that early
because-
tingly feeling.
That's interesting because it probably destroyed the thing that was summoned through this thing, and then this thing summoned something else through other artifacts. It's like it probably knows how to summon more of itself. Also,
Alright.
why the hell does it know how to make guns? Also,
Also-
is the gun still on the floor, or did it also disappear?
The two of you take a Cthulhu's Mythos point as a result of your endeavors. As a footnote.
Heckies. We didn't get those last time in the last game. How did they work? Can you give us a rundown?
Cthulhu's Mythos is generally gained by being exposed to the stuff that doesn't make sense and lowers your maximum sanity.
So basically, algebra and higher mathematics. Got it. Where did I put those, by the way?
There's a skill for it. I think your sheet
Yeah, I
automatically
guess
adjusts your maximum sanity as a result of this as well.
yeah, cool. If it's just 1 point, is it like 1 point or is it like 10% or something?
One
Like,
point.
how does it?
Just one.
1 point. Okay.
We have 1% in Cthulhu Mythos now.
Okay. You did say that it adjusts sanity somehow.
Yeah, it adjusts your maximum sanity down 1 point per Cthulhu's Mythos. So if you get 99%, you also are completely insane. So I like how that mechanic basically grasps, the insanity of it.
I like this. I dig this. It's neat.
Yeah, well, Robert's
Next
case,
next time wear dark glasses and ear protection so you don't get exposed.
yep, just shoot blindly.
So one question. On my list, I have 65 and 99. Do I just decrease 65 by?
No, only the max goes down, which is the 99.
Oh, it went to 98 automatically. Okay, fair enough. I just had to click out of the full of Mythos thing. Heck.
All right, this is strange.
Did we? Did they take the corpses with them, by the way, the crystal statues or whatever? The police, I mean.
They took the corpses with them? Yes.
Okay, they just kind of load them into the trunk.
Who knows if the corpses are still there at this point?
Yeah, they might have disappeared. They might have shattered because obviously country roads.
But it is now quiet, and for the most part, this adventure is over.
Heck.
Just finish the rest of the week in I guess we would.
I'm just gonna spend it getting drunk because he probably has expensive alcohol in there. And it's like, this is above my pay grade, so I might as well abuse it while I can. I literally sold a portion of my soul for this, so don't mind if I do.
In reality, you just lost 10 magic points, but sure.
I will contact Mr. Kingsley and notify him of these happenings.
What do you exactly tell him, like regarding the weirdness of the situation?
Hey, we've ran into some aliens and we killed them, so all good. No worries.
That we were attacked by unknown assailants, and two of the bodies have been collected by the police, local police.
You hear a strange sigh of relief in his voice as you mention this.
So he knew. You motherfucker.
Did you have any kind of knowledge about the people who attacked?
I mean, the man was shot by prospective thieves. I had suspicion someone might be out and about.
Right.
Yeah, well, we have instruction to the thing, so we're gonna sick one of those monsters on you if you don't like wink wink nudge nudge tell us. So you better start talking or you're gonna have mysterious dark figures with magical weapons attacking your ass. Bitch.
Yeah, no.
Como leaning in on the phone.
Oh, it's one of those phones with a little like thingy that you listen into.
Oh. Those are fun.
Yeah, I don't mention any of that because I do not want to seem like an insane person.
Why not?
So yeah, I mentioned that we were attacked by attacked by people with guns, and that they have been dealt with.
To the best of our knowledge, because we don't know
Yeah.
how many of them were. We have specifically killed 2, and one of them just disappeared. So,
One of them disappeared.
Yes.
in a flash of light.
And okay. I don't know how to put this in words, but like, will the Sir Kingsley have any idea of what Sir Rottingham was doing in his late years? Like, what was he up to? Anything weird?
Not really. He was mostly his notary, and he was informed as to the situation at hand. For the most part, he wasn't too sure. He knew that he went on a few trips lately, and that was kind of it. But that he mostly
Yeah, but
stayed
he
at
did
home.
know about the attackers somehow.
He, if you press it, he'd said that he was there for a few days, but he saw some things outside, and he got spooked. And he decided to say, you know what, I'll just leave this to someone else, and immediately start
Oh, so
contacting.
he got spooked and he hired somebody else to. Right. Okay, that's fair enough. I'll take that explanation because I would do the same. But hiring people is above my pay grade. So, oops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask for extra money though, because I did not expect to get shot and to shoot people.
Heck.
Yeah,
Just like throw extra $25 on top of the 100 that you paid me, and we'll settle for that.
this demands higher compensation. It's kind of, we weren't expecting to be shot at.
Oh, well, you kind of hear the doubt in his voice as he's sort of like, this is gonna be bad. How about I doubled it? 200.
That's more than enough. That's awesome.
That might do. Might be enough for me not to contact my lawyers.
Yes, let's keep the lawyers out of this. They don't have to hear a thing.
Yeah, lawyers are unfortunately worse demons than actual demons.
Okay.
But yes, this adventure is over. You have saved the day, sort of. Or came out with your life, at least.
Well, yeah, we saved
You
ourselves
have
mostly.
peered through the veil of reality.
Yeah. I peer through the veil of reality every time I get sleep paralysis because I keep seeing monsters and stuff.
What the hell are these fat hyenas? Like Claire
Wait,
just
what?
posted. Look at those fat yeens.
Where which one?
On the Fox chat, because it's with Claire. Look at them.
Yeah. It's probably pregnant or something.
They're so big. I'm gonna post them too. I'm gonna post them too, because you just have the right to know.
Yeah, go nuts. Go post it.
Here, look at these giant hyenas.
Oh,
First one looks almost distraught. The second one's like, it's a living. Being
The
fat.
second, I'm gorgeous. The second one is lying to itself.
I'm body positive.
Body positive.
Como, don't you
Okay,
bully
so-
her.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna bully a hyena. Yeah. It can bite my head off. I'm not gonna bully a thing that's gonna kill me.
What is it?
I've been informed that we have food ready, so I should go and eat
All right.
something.
All right. That was that.
Yeah, this was a fun little adventure.
I got a lot to learn, I feel. But sure.
You did what?
Got a lot to learn in terms of theming and setup. But hey, not bad for a
That's
second shot
okay.
at this.
That's okay. Yeah, Call of Cthulhu is fun. Do you want me to host the thing sometime? By the way, because I had an idea.
Okay. We can see about that.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
Cut the stream. Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
Goodbye.